We'd like to welcome you to KQ on the Avenue. We'd like to welcome you to KQ on the Avenue. We'd like to welcome you to KQ on the Avenue. We'd like to welcome you to KQ on the Avenue.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the inaugural episode of KQ on the Avenue. I'm your host, Wayne Benson Jr.
I'm Monique Franz, co-host.
And I'm co-host Yolanda Simpson. Let's get it. Let's get into it.
And thank y'all for tuning in. This podcast exists to uplift underrepresented voices in the arts. And today we are going to be talking about advocacy in art with a focus on the Kendrick Lamar halftime show.
Oh man, that was fire. That was fire right there.
It was good.
That whole thing. We might be a little late to the party.
Yeah,
you cannot talk about it. You cannot talk about it.
There you go. We cannot not talk about it. That's right.
Yeah. So what are y'all, and we can go around just like each person. What is your kind of your overview and your personal take from the halftime show?
It was straight up fire. And I think that, like a lot of the first responses that we were hearing, some of those clueless people were talking about worst show. You didn't even know. Mm-hmm. But I think that anybody, even if hip hop was not your cup of tea, you understood that you was watching something significant. You knew he was saying something, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And, for a hip hop girl like me, and seriously, I'm an OG hip hop person. I mean, when I say OG, I don't want to age myself, but I'm talking about a hip hop. That's the kind of
that was the late 1970s.
That's the kind of OG hip hop I'm talking about. But just as a hip hop girl, I knew that Kendrick Lamar was going to throw it down. I knew he was going to do it, and I knew he was going to drop knowledge and do what he do. Dropping knowledge in Comptonese, and he brought it, it was fire.
I think, people who said it was the worst and they didn't understand, but they didn't have to understand. See, that was the point. He took the opportunity to say what he felt like he needed to say. He spoke to everyone, but he was talking to a particular people. He was talking to us. He was talking to us, and if anybody wanted to join in on the conversation, he let them do that. But I think that it was great that he took that opportunity to actually say something, and it was bold because that day the president was there. That's football, that's mm-hmm. America's pastime. So you could take that opportunity to play it safe, be the kind of hip hop artist that they expect to see, the drinking, the money, he took that opportunity to make a lot of statements that needed to be said. And even if they say that it wasn't the best entertaining Super Bowl, which I thought was Prince. Just gonna throw that out there for good measure.
Okay.
You know that you had an opportunity to see. It was an experience. It was an experience. And he took that opportunity to actually make a point instead of just entertain, even though it was entertaining. He took that opportunity to make a point, not just to play his music, but to say something. And I appreciate that. So
I appreciate that too. And for those, especially those from the white community who are like, I don't get it, it's not my cup of tea, and he didn't play to all the audience that was here. Wait a minute. If you look at all of those athletes on that field, they are from places where Kendrick is from. They were raised like Kendrick was raised. So you have no problem with watching this American game off the backs of Black athletes, but don't say nothing. Don't have nothing to say. No.
Or as long as you performing like we want you to perform. See, we want you to, we want it to look like we want it to look. We don't want you, y'all play football, but don't have your own mind. Don't have your own point of view, and definitely don't express it here because we don't want to hear it, So
yeah, speaking of what you were just saying, Yolanda, that brings up Samuel L. Jackson for me was probably my favorite part.
Yeah,
that, you know what I mean? Basically what you just said was his whole position of being there. Like, we want you to sound how we want you to sound. We want you to play, all that stuff, and to have him being there as the person to narrate that, I thought that was just so tactful.
I think it was bold of him because He could have did what they wanted and opened up his calendar, baby. Like now, they about to invite me everywhere. If I tap dance the right way, I'm gonna get an invite everywhere.
And he made that statement. He made that statement when he constructed the field to look like a game controller. Hey, y'all want me to play the game, but I'm about to play this game. Like I'm about
the way I want to play the game.
I'm gonna play this game the way I want to play this game. I'm not gonna play to your game. We've been playing to your game. And one of the I love the imagery of him creating the American flag. And I might be getting a little ahead, so maybe I should.
No, you good. You good.
Talk about that.
Talk about it.
But honestly, I love how he created that imagery of creating the American flag from Black lives. Because
that's good.
There isn't that the symbolism. Honestly, if you look at American culture, you look at its music, you look at its food, you look at the way it talks, you look at its movies. Dude, we Blacks, we are so much, even the economy itself.
We built the culture.
We built the culture. We built the nation, not being paid for it, not being paid. So I loved how he constructed the flag out of Black lives. People were like, oh, well, there wasn't any white person on the stage. You know what? Sometimes it's not about you. Sometimes it's not about you. We got to live in a society and systems that ain't about us. You know what? You'll be all right. You'll be all right. You okay with watching the game and Black athletes? You'll be okay with him expressing the culture of the Black athletes. You don't have a problem.
Yeah, I don't remember the Rolling Stones, but I don't remember a whole bunch of Black folks on stage when they was playing Maroon 5 and then, so let's calm down. This is his opportunity. You gave it to him. And another thing.
Wait a minute. Let's go back to that, Londa. How dare you? If it was the Rolling Stones, you wouldn't
have said, where's the Black people?
A Black person on stage.
There were no Black people on stage. It wouldn't even been a thought, because why would we include you here? So, and it's crazy because they talking about DEI. Why would we just drop a white person in the middle of that? Y'all don't want to do that no more. Think about it. And if it were a Rolling Stones or somebody like that, they would never have said, well, where's the, what?
Exactly.
Just stop with that, because we can't do nothing. If they have not signed the permission slip on what we can do, they're going to have something to say about it. It's just that simple. If you got your own point of view, if they didn't co-sign on your point of view, they're going to have something to say about it. If they weren't centered in what you're trying to do, they're going to have something to say about it. So that's why I respect the performance, because he could have considered that and really took the opportunity to give them what they think rappers do. Because, all the booty shaking and all the, drug talking, he could have did all of that. And see, that's what we want. We want to see y'all do that. We don't want you to actually care about your people. We don't want you to say something that would uplift your people. We don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear that we owe y'all 48 million. You thought we forgot. He let you know we didn't forget.
Here's the thing, girl. Here's the thing. If he would have talked about gin and juice, if he would have just sang gin and juice, that would have been fine. Don't you talk about the oppression of Black people. Don't you talk about a system that needs to change. I'd rather you hear talk about gin and juice and we'd be fine. Nah. It's time that we do. As Black artists or artists of color, that we understand that our platform is meant for advocacy.
KQ on the Avenue is made possible in part with funds from Genesee Valley Council of the Arts Aid to Localities program.